Whether you call it God, fate, physics, it all points to the same truth. The game is rigged. This is a comment that someone made on the video that I published previously. You believe in quantum physics? That doesn't mean that the game is not rigged. You believe in God? That doesn't mean that the game is not rigged. You believe we live in a simulation? I hope the audio is good this time. It doesn't mean that the game is not rigged. The game might not seem rigged because who wants to feel like they're not in control? Tell me if the audio is good. I'm still doubting the audio. This is the second time I'm actually trying to do this because the audio wasn't actually like I wasn't recording through this mic the first time. So I still doubt the audio. No one wants to believe that life is rigged. It actually feels wrong to believe that because you want to feel like you are in control, right? You want to feel like you really have the power to make things go your way. There's something that I've realized about success. Success makes you feel like sound check. You have to tell me if the audio is that good. Like I want the audio to be that good. This is gonna be like one of my favorite lives, so I can't mess anything up. Uh, Success makes you feel like you're you're too strong. You know what I'm saying? Like you've worked harder than everyone, and that is why you succeeded. Like you didn't succeed because of luck. You didn't succeed because there was an unseen force that was behind you the whole time. You might not understand what this force is. So after succeeding, you're gonna talk like you are better than everyone else. Hey, to get this in life, you have to be like this. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning and do this. And it's like, no, dude, there are a lot of people who are waking up at 5 a.m. There are a lot of people who are waking up at 4 a.m. Sometimes it doesn't even matter how hard you try because the whole thing is actually rigged. I see people praying in church, bro. Like the most prayerful people. I'm talking about people, they'll call them prayer warriors, right? People who wake up in the morning and they go to church and they pray for hours. These people even fast. And nothing goes well in their lives. I see people who believe in the law of attraction. Like, yeah, they, if you think positive things all the time, you look at yourself in the mirror and say positive things about yourself, it means things are gonna go well for you. I know a lot of people who are like that who never amounted to anything. It's not that simple. I remember there's this guy, I don't know what he does, but he said something that made him very popular. Um, I came across this clip on TikTok. He said, someone asked him, "What is the biggest lie you've ever been told?" And he said, "It's not that simple." And the guy that was interviewing him was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "No, someone told me it's not that simple. That's the biggest lie that I've ever been told because it is that simple." And I was like, Uh, that's the thing. Like once you succeed at something, it feels like it's that simple, right? Like you don't know how many people have tried to reach the level of success that you've reached. So you look at it and you be like, yeah, it is that simple. No, no, it's not. It's not that simple. There are unseen forces that are actually controlling reality. You can call it God, you can call it fate, you can call it physics, whatever you want to call it. But what is really clear is that the whole thing is rigged. Started from when you started existing. You didn't choose where you will be born. You didn't choose your parents. And let's stop this nonsense of saying that yeah you chose this, you chose. I keep on telling people that the only way to get to the highest truth is through philosophy. It's through you thinking. And I give the most practical example. If I decided that I want to make a clone of myself and that clone became conscious, that clone didn't choose to exist. You might be like, no, 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 it chose. No, it didn't. I am not my clone. Do you get what I'm saying? So even if before you started existing, your highest self chose to manifest itself in this reality. It doesn't mean that you, the experience or this vision of you that is naive, that doesn't understand what is going on, that is curious, that is stressing every day, it didn't choose to be here. You, who I'm talking to now, didn't choose to be here, right? So started from when you were born, you didn't choose where you'll be born, you didn't choose your parents, you didn't choose your you didn't choose your environment, you didn't choose your height, you didn't choose your looks, you didn't choose your level of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't choose any of that. That's the first sign that it's all rigged. Like that's the first sign. So you go out into the world believing that only if I tried a bit harder, things will work out. Only if I made different decisions, things. I have a feeling that you'll end up where you are, even if you tried a bit harder, or you didn't really try. When you step back and look at life, look at how life unfolds, it becomes obvious that whatever is supposed to happen will find a way to happen. Like you could decide that you don't want things to happen a certain way, but it'll still happen a certain way. I've watched movies about time travel. You find that someone is trying to change the past, but no matter what they do, what they are trying to avoid finds a way to happen. I don't know if you've watched movies like that. That's how life seems to be. Like you're trying your best to make things happen a certain way, but they don't. Now I've watched people try so damn hard, and I look at them and be like, this doesn't seem fair. Now, you look at someone like Andrew Tate, right? I've been seeing like videos from him like a lot lately on Facebook. Talking about his success, his cars, and all of that, and him believing that it was him, right? He got to where he is because of him. And I'll be like, does this guy genuinely feel like those who don't have what he has and who feel, who want to have what he has, like they didn't, like none of them have tried the way that he has tried, right? None of them worked as hard as he worked. None of them were like, yeah, I have to try everything that is possible. None of them were taking risks. None of them had his mentality. The real problem is that we feel like we're in control. Things just happen to people, bro. Things just happen. You could wake up the next like tomorrow and you feel sick, you go to a doctor and they tell you have cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not in control of this. You can eat healthy, try to do everything right, and still things go wrong. And you can do a lot of things wrong and still things still go right. I've seen this happen so many times. Like a person does everything wrong, you know, and things still go right for them. And I've seen people do everything right. You're like, you look at a person and you're like, what did they do wrong again? And you can't figure out what they did wrong because they did nothing wrong. They actually did everything right, but still things still went wrong. You look at people who became billionaires in this world. You're like, yeah, they just worked super hard or they were just super smart. No, they were just lucky. That's it. That's what it really boils down to. There's an unseen force that controls reality. Everyone is trying to, be happy, basically. Like everyone is trying to have what they want. Everyone is trying to make their lives work. They're trying to make their lives, work out the way that they want their lives to work out. No one is trying to be miserable. I don't know a person who wakes up in the morning and be like, I want to be miserable. I don't know a person. Like I've never came across that person. I don't even know if that kind of person actually exists. People don't wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, I want my day to be bad. No, they want their days to be good. You know what I'm saying? They want to feel happy. They want things to work out the way that they plan. But it doesn't work that way. Some people believe that hard work pays. Like, yo, you gotta work hard. Only if you work a bit harder. It's not how this reality works. It's not even about the mindset that you have. I know people who don't really believe in themselves, who don't really believe that things are gonna work out for them, but things keep on working out for them. I know people who believe that things are gonna work out for them, but things never really work out for them. You know? In fact, they suffer a lot trying to make things work out for them because they believe that things will work out for them. They believe that they deserve success. Like I deserve. It's all rigged, man. The game is rigged. If it wasn't rigged, you would have more options. You know what I'm saying? Like you would have been given a choice. You could have, like, we're talking about a game that you didn't even choose to play. You would have been given a choice. You'll know a lot more than what you know. You'll understand a lot of things. You wouldn't have too many questions. But you just find yourself playing this game that you didn't even say you wanted to play in the first place. Everything about life actually tells us that it's rigged. It's kind of like an experiment. How are you going to respond to things? It seems like things are supposed to happen to you, but what really matters is how you respond, but you can never prevent what's meant to happen, right? There are things that will happen, whether you want these things to happen or not. Like you can't prevent these things. There are things that are supposed to happen to you. If, for an example, you are the kind of person who doesn't want to go out a lot, if one day you're supposed to get robbed in the street, there will be a day that you go out and people approach you and rob you. You'll find out that there are people who don't even go out at all. I mean, yeah, they don't go out, like straight up, they don't go out. But then one day something happens and they're forced to go out, and then something bad happens to them. And there are people who always go out, but what happened to those people never happened to them. It's because it's not supposed to happen to them. As crazy as that may sound, but it's actually true. That is why we don't experience the same things in life. I've realized that. I'm the kind of person who would go out a lot at night, late, and I've never been robbed. Like I've been in a situation where I almost got robbed, and I'll be like, damn, that was kind of like my fault, but I do see why it wasn't supposed. Not that I see why it wasn't supposed to happen, but it does feel like I wasn't supposed to get robbed. Like I sensed that something like that was going to happen. I kind of like allowed it because I don't listen to my intuition, but I was still lucky in the end. The people, man, they just go out like maybe like twice every 6 months, and they get robbed. Like they get robbed a lot that they're always scared. Like that's supposed to happen. It sucks that the game is rigged, bro. I like this song by Hobson. It's called Nocturnal Rainbows. He says, "You think you're original, you ain't original. You were programmed to be you. You're a slave and you don't even think about it. The things that you even think of ain't even your thoughts. Just step out of the box for a minute." I like that intro, bro. You think you're original. You're not original. You're programmed to be yourself. But what sucks more is that even your life is not controlled by you. So you were programmed to be you, and your life is not controlled by you. And you can see that it's not controlled by you. That's the reason why we feel powerless. Like we feel powerless because we're not even in control of our own reality. Like you want to be in control of your reality. You wanna Can you imagine if it was possible to wake up in the morning and decide exactly how your day is gonna be, and maybe decided to forget that you're the one who decided how your day is gonna be? That would be beautiful, but it's not like that. And it's obvious that it's not like that. You wouldn't be uh, creating this horrible story for yourself, you know? You'll be creating a beautiful story. You'll be creating a story that you'll be satisfied with in the end because you're in control. No one is trying to be a loser. No one is trying to suffer. What we're trying to do as conscious beings is avoid suffering at all cost, right? But you you things don't go the way that you planned. You just find yourself having an experience, that you didn't choose to have, and not even knowing what to do. It's because the whole thing is rigged, man. I wish that everyone understood that, because we would like to blame people for their experiences, right? In this realm, if things don't go well for a person, we like to blame that person. It's your fault because your friend did better than you. So it means that you just weren't serious. Like if it was possible for your friend to achieve something, it means that you could have achieved it. Hmm. No, there's this thing that I've realized about life. Two people can do things the same way and get uh results that are totally different. They can do things the same way and get results that are totally different. And they can try again, and you find that the results that this person got are the results that they got the second time, and they try again, and it keeps on happening like that. The other person is gonna be like, yo, I've been trying, I've been trying to do things right, and things didn't work out. The person who succeeded would look at that person and be like, huh? I mean, I did this once and it worked. I did it twice and it worked. I did it many times and it worked. So it means you must be doing something wrong. Because why are things not working out for you if you're trying? Like me. You know what I'm saying? I've realized that sometimes people do things better than we could have even imagined, but they still get negative results. And they try again and still get negative results. And they try again, without even giving up, until they reach a point where they're like, Things just don't work out for me. And they're not even wrong, you know? Some don't even give up until they die. You find that they never actually gave up. They kept on fighting, they kept on going, they kept on trying to make things happen for them, and still things didn't happen. Some gave up, but somehow things still did work out. This realm is not what it seems, man. Why would you even think that this is not rigged? Like, this is one of the like most important questions. Why would you even feel like it's not rigged if consent is not even important in this realm? Like, you don't live in a realm where things happen to you because you're like, yeah, I want this to happen to me. Things just happen. Like, weird things happen and we don't know why. It does feel like we're being experimented. Like it does feel like there is something that is watching us, that is studying us, and is trying to figure out how we're gonna respond when certain things happen. The same way that we put rats, for an example, in a box, and we try to figure out how they're gonna react when they experience certain things. If we don't give them food, how are they going to be? Are they going to start um, fighting with other? Like, are they going to fight among themselves because they're not getting food? Uh, we give or you give them food, but you're not consistent. So you give them food at 5 today, and then the next day you give them food at 12. Like, how are they going to respond? Or or sometimes, like, when you give them food, there's always gonna be this sound, right? So whenever they hear this sound, they know that they must expect food. So they hear this sound, you give them food. They hear this sound, you give them food. They hear this sound, you give them food. They hear this sound, and you don't give them food. You want to see how they're going to respond. It kind of feel like life kind of feels that way. It feels like we are not really in control. Like, when you look at the way things actually work. Of course, it makes sense to believe that you are in control until you think about it deeply enough. Until you start questioning everything. You start questioning your own reality. I remember I was having a conversation with someone about like music in general, like what it really takes to succeed in music. So I was like, a lot of people that are succeeding in music, these are not the people who have really tried it hard. These are people who have been trying for like a year and they just became popular, you know? There are people who've just only made one song and they just trended, bro. And they're not even better than those who didn't succeed. Like, I know artists who are that good, bro. Artists that will make you go like, damn, that's possible, and they don't succeed. That's life. You try very, very hard and you still don't succeed. And you still want to think that, yeah, it was all up to me. I just like you need to reach a point in life where you don't even blame yourself for things that happen. Because really, should you blame yourself for what happens to you in a reality that you don't even control? It's like watching a movie and being mad at what happens in the movie. It's exactly like that. I remember on a video that no, not the video that I published, actually, it was a live. The last live that I did. I remember telling y'all that the more I pay attention to how reality works, the more I realize that it's rigged. I believe that if, for an example, you're not supposed to win the lottery and you come up with the numbers that we're supposed to win, right? You come up with the numbers that we're supposed to win. The numbers are gonna change. Like you don't actually win the lottery because you got the right numbers. You won the lottery because you were supposed to win. That's it. As crazy as it may sound, if something is not supposed to happen, reality will find a way to ensure that it doesn't happen. So even if you came up with the numbers that were supposed to come out, you wouldn't win. You will find yourself experiencing a reality where you would lose. So when you watch the lottery and see the numbers that come out, you'll be like, yeah, um I should have bet on those numbers, but you ain't gonna win. I should have tried what that guy has tried. No, you ain't gonna win. You ain't supposed to win. I'm glad that I did things this way because of one. You ain't gonna lose. Even if you didn't do things the way that you did things, you ain't gonna lose. It's all rigged. Winners will win, losers will lose. And it's not up to them. It wasn't. It's never been up to them. It's never actually been up to you. Sometimes I hate telling people how to be because the more I think about reality, the more I realize that it's all rigged. And this might not be bad news, right? This might not actually be bad news. Maybe it depends on how you look at it. But if it's all rigged, maybe you shouldn't take it seriously. The same way that if you are like maybe watching a movie, you don't take the movie that seriously, right? There are movies that I've watched that I really loved. Movies like Inception, movies like Shutter Island, movies like The Matrix. But I don't take what's happening in these movies seriously. I mean, except in the movie The Matrix, because there's a lot that I'm learning. But I can tell it's a movie, right? I'm not like a dog that's watching TV and it sees another dog and it starts barking. It's called like it's making itself stress for no reason. It's not it like it can't control what it's seeing. So you can stress yourself for no reason, like when um things don't go your way, you start to stress. Like, yeah, things didn't go my way, only if I did things this way. And maybe you should just watch the movie and be like, this is the movie. I don't like it. but it is still the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm seeing at the end of the day. This is what I'm experiencing. This is my direct experience. I remember on one of the videos that I've made, someone said reality is like um life in like Westworld. If you've watched the TV series Westworld, like that's how reality is. Like some people are given power to do whatever they want, and some people are given zero power. And it really does seem that way. Whether you believe in, like, it doesn't matter what you believe in. You could believe in God. You could believe that there's a God who's controlling everything. But you even praying to this God in the first place before you do anything is that's because you believe that there's this higher power that is like that controls everything. I remember when I first watched like a fight, like a Khabib fight, like I'm a big fan of UFC. And I'll see him praying before a fight. I'll be like, these people train so hard, but they don't believe in their own strength. They believe that there's a higher power that's actually gonna help them. What's gonna happen is a Muslim. What is gonna happen is what Allah wants to happen. It's not up to them. They can train as hard as they want, but in the end, what's gonna happen is what Allah wants to happen. And that's how it is. Like in sports, like you'd see a person praying first before they start competing. That's why people pray that things go well in their lives. I don't even think people should be praying actually, because everyone wants things to go well in their lives. Like I'm thinking, if I had superpowers, I would know what a person wants. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give them. They wouldn't even need to pray. If a person is sick and I see they're sick, they're going to a hospital all the time, I'll just be like, yeah, heal. Because obviously you don't want to go to a hospital. So you don't even need to pray. You know what I'm saying? You just want to heal. But yeah, man, it doesn't matter if you believe in God, faith, or physics. It's clear that's rigged. Even if you believe in fate, you could believe that it's all random, but it's all going to lead to something. So you call it fate. But I'll say the things that happen were always going to happen. And that is fate. You believe in physics, maybe you believe in quantum physics, you believe that um, you create your own reality. You believe that if I don't know what you call this, guys. There's this game that we used to play, right? Where you take a coin. Okay, no, 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 let me not even talk about that game. Let's just say I flip this coin, and I'm playing a game with someone. I believe that if I'm playing that game, maybe I'm betting money with this person. Even if it comes out like, even if it was supposed to be like this, or even if it was like this, if the other person says it's not like this and that's supposed to win, then it's gonna be like this. It's gonna turn. It's gonna become like this. It's literally gonna turn. That's how rigged the whole thing is. If the other person has to win, they'll win no matter what. If Mayweather was supposed to be 50 and 0, then he was gonna be 50 and 0. Things were gonna happen. If Canelo Alvarez wasn't supposed to beat him, he wasn't gonna be able to beat him. Even if he trained harder than him, even if he fought a better, you know what I'm saying? Something was gonna happen to ensure that dude doesn't win. That Crawford guy, if he was supposed to beat Canelo, he was gonna beat him no matter what. Not a fan of Canelo, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. We live in a reality that is really rigged, man. That's why I try my best to not act like I own it. It's rigged. Why should I act like I own it? Like you must reach a level of consciousness where if things happen, like if the worst things happen, the things that you don't want to see happening happen, you're like, it is what it is. I'm not in control of this. This is nonsense. I don't like it. And you just kind of like you push it away. You push that experience away. You like it is what it is, man. I can't keep on trying to I can't keep on trying to control what I can't control. It doesn't help. It only it only it only make you suffer. You know, the more you feel like you're in control, the more you suffer. Because you're gonna try harder. Like if you feel like you're in control, you're gonna try harder. You're gonna think that you need to try harder. But if you're supposed to get something, you're gonna get it without trying that hard. In fact, what's really meant for you will just come to you. That's what's actually crazy about this existence. What's actually meant for you will come to you without you really trying anything, bro. Like it will just come to you and it'll actually surprise you. And you're gonna be all cocky. Like, yeah, it's because I did things this way, it's because of this and that. No, it just came to you. And you just develop this ego that makes you think that you've just worked harder than everyone. I see a comment from Life is Scary. Yeah, nobody knows anything. That's why it's so scary. That is true, man. It, whether we like it or not, we are all scared of what happens after this. We don't know, bro. That is why we are being given religions that tells us that there's heaven, there's hell, and you have to live a certain way. They know that we're afraid, we're scared. Like, why wouldn't you be scared? I remember a few days back, I've been telling you guys that I suffer from what they call exploding head syndrome. If you don't know what exploding head syndrome, it's this. Oh, let me not even call it anything. Like when you are sleeping, sometimes, not all the time, you'll be sleeping and you hear a sound. Like sometimes it'll feel like someone is knocking at your door. Sometimes you'll feel like someone broke the window. Sometimes it will feel like someone is calling your name. Sometimes it'll feel like someone is whispering in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear something and it wakes you up, right? So this are the I have this I had this experience constantly. I was sleeping during the day. You know, every time when I was about to fall asleep, I will hear something and it would wake me up, and I was like, what if whatever is controlling this reality decided to scare me for real? Like, can you imagine, bro? Like experiencing your worst fears, right? We've watched horror movies, and even though we knew it was only a movie, we would be scared. So can you imagine in real life that you experience your worst fears and it never stopped? You know, one of my worst fears is going insane because I don't know what people who go insane experience. Like, what if they go into this um like the rabbit hole where they're just experiencing like negative things all the damn time, things that scare them, and we don't even see what they're experiencing. Imagine how miserable they will be. So it's life is scary because you're not in control. If there's something else that's controlling your life, you don't know how it thinks. It could decide to make your life 10 times harder than it is now. You know, like make things 10 times worse than they are now. And you you going to think that your life is now 10 times worse than it was because of the decisions that you've made. That is what is crazy. Like we always want to feel like we're in control, right? It's I think it has a lot to do with how we've been programmed to think. And why wouldn't you think that you're in control? Of course, we're supposed to believe in causality. We're supposed to believe in cause and effects at the end of the day, right? You're supposed to believe that if you decide to, for an example, if you decide that you're going to use this coin to make, this is 5 rand, right? To make 1,000 rand. So you're going to bet. That's really what's going to make you the thousand. But I would say no. It's not actually how it works. I think if you're supposed to have the thousand, you will have it. You know, when I explain to people that there's no free will, I like to talk a lot about causality. The reason why I talk about causality is because it's the easiest way to explain that there is no free will, right? But really, what I feel is true is that there is a force that is actually making things happen. So it's not really causality. Like this reality is not controlled by actions or by what happened. It's control, like there's a force behind everything. It's like when you're dreaming, when you someone says I have a crazy theory, I would like, please tell me what your theory is. I'm going to read, tell me in the comments what the theory is, and yeah, and we're going to talk about it. Listen, I have a feeling that your actions don't really matter, even if it seems like they do. That's why, man, look, if you didn't succeed, if you've tried to do something and you failed, I don't think you should be blaming yourself. You should just be like, hey, man, I wished I had a better story. I don't know why my story sucks. And if you're succeeding and things are going well for you, should be like, I don't know why things are going too well for me, but I hope maybe things go well for everyone. Like you must have that kind of mindset. You know what I'm saying? Than to become, this arrogant person who feels like they got what they got because of their hard work. I remember when Khabib, if you watch MMA, there's a guy who goes by the name Khabib. Um, the guy retired in 2021. Yeah, I think he retired in 2021. He was undefeated. I remember when he gave his speech, he said, I don't know why God has given me all of this. Right? That's what he believed in God. Like you could tell that he feels it that he was not in control. Like it got to a point where it didn't even make sense to him why he has all these things that he has. No, actually, I think it was a fight before he retired. His dad was still alive because when he fought for the last time, his dad had already died. So, like when his dad died, I was like, that's the thing. It's like this reality is so damn rigged that it can like maybe find a way to make you suffer in the end. So sometimes you will have things and believe that, yeah, this is great and all of that, and then boom, something bad happens. Right. Brother, uh I don't know if it's Jerry. Thanks for the super thanks. I appreciate you, brother. No, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I've been paying attention, man, and I keep on telling you guys that I think it's important to pay attention to reality. You know, like we should stop thinking that reality is what it seems, and really pay attention. Like what is really going on? I've been paying attention, and I can tell you that it's the game is really rigged. If the game is rigged, it doesn't automatically mean that it's rigged against you. Because some people might look at it that way, like, yeah, it's rigged. Like maybe something will happen that will make your life better. But what I'm trying to tell you is that even if something happens and your life becomes great, it doesn't mean that it's you. You know what I'm saying? You must stop having like telling yourself that like it's me. Whatever life gives you, bro, know that it wasn't really up to you. You know, we don't control this, at least not in the way that we think we do. What you are not supposed to have, you ain't gonna have it, no matter how hard you try to have it. You will try, man. And I remember Kanye West say this on this song. I just forgot the name. What was the name of the song? He said, "Because when you try hard, it's when you die hard." If you remember the song, tell me. Oh, I think it might be the song "Can't Tell Me Nothing." Yeah, say when you try hard is when you die hard, and it's so true, bruh. I've been in situations where I would try so hard to make something happen and it doesn't happen. And I've been in situations where I didn't try to make something happen and it happened. Like no real effort, nothing. and things just happen. And you're like, damn, it can't be this easy, but it happened. But you've been in situations where you tried, bro. You tried everything, and nothing happened. And there are people who didn't even try, who got the same thing that you were trying to get. And you tell yourself that, I just have bad luck. Like, no, it's not even that. The, the game is rigged. This is something that people just don't understand, and they don't even want to believe. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that to be true. If there is no way, I think thought field was trying to type, like, if there's no way out of this treadmill, God is evil. Yeah, I kind of like look at life the same way that I would look at like a treadmill, right? But like, here's how life is really. It's like, if you're in a treadmill, you're running or you're walking, and if you stop walking or you stop running, you fall behind. But there's fire behind, so you burn. So you run so that you don't burn. It's kind of like that, right? So you kind of like keep on, like, you have to keep on doing things, because if you stop doing these things, then it's suffering, and you don't want to suffer. So of course, whatever created this room is evil, because you suffer if you do nothing. Can you imagine if you did things because you wanted to do things? There are things that I choose to do because I really want to do. But I've been telling you guys that I like snooker. So I will wake up and decide that I'm gonna go to a place where they are playing snooker. Like, I'm deciding that, meaning that I'm gonna walk. It's not because I'm suffering, but the problem with life is that we do a lot of the things that we do because we are trying to avoid suffering. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm suffering now, so let me do this. I'm suffer if I don't work, then I'm gonna suffer. If I don't eat, I'm gonna suffer. If I don't drink water, I'm gonna suffer. If I don't have sex, I'm gonna suffer. If I don't do, you know what I'm saying? That's the problem with this realm. It is like a treadmill. So you kind of like have to keep on doing things just to make sure that you don't suffer, just to make sure that you don't fall back. Vendetta says, what do you think is the strongest, most undeniable proof that this is scripted? Wow, what a question. Um, I'm gonna answer the question. I'm trying to post. Okay, guys, let's join the Discord server. I've just posted the link. I just posted the link. Okay, what do you think is the strongest, most undeniable proof that life is scripted? I would say that the fact that you're born without your consent, for me, that's the strongest proof that this is scripted. Now, the fact that you didn't choose this, because that's literally the most important choice that you deserved. You know what I'm saying? So if life didn't give you that choice, then oh, so it's 100% scripted. And I've already explained to y'all why you didn't choose to be here. I've already explained, and then, like I told you, that it's through philosophy that we get to the highest truth. It's not through. It's not even through like experience. It's not even through experience that we get to the highest truth. It's through philosophy, because you can't even trust your experiences. Do you get what I'm saying? So you need to be thinking. That's actually how you get to the highest truth. So yeah, I would say the most undeniable proof that the whole thing is scripted is the fact that you were born without your consent. Because why? Why are you born without your consent? Why do we not live in a reality where you could actually choose to be here and know that you chose to be here? You know that you chose everything. Like when you play a video game, you are able to choose your character. You know, you're able to choose the kind of weapons you're supposed to use, your height, all this kind of stuff. You know, most video games these days do give you that option. So you not having that option is a sign that the whole thing is scripted, because that's going to determine how your life is going to be. If you're born in Iraq, you're going to speak like people who were born in Iraq. You know, if you're born in South Africa, you're going to speak like South Africans. I'm the only person who doesn't speak like South Africans, but that's I can explain that. But really, man, there's a reason why it's easy to tell which country a person is from, because of how they speak, because of their accent, because of how they think. You know, so you can tell. Oh, this person comes from this country. It's easy to tell if a person has been through hell in the world because of how they think, and it's not even about thinking negative stuff. Like you can tell, bro. If someone grew up in poverty, even if you gave them a lot of money and they dress nicely, you will actually be able to tell if you pay enough attention that this person actually grew up in poverty. This one didn't grow up in poverty. Like you can meet a person who's not doing well in life, but who didn't grow up in poverty, and be able to tell that, oh, this person really didn't grow up in poverty. Well, things just didn't work out the way that they thought would work out. Okay, life is scary. Yeah, the theory. I'm waiting for the theory. The theory is life wasn't supposed to start on Earth, because everything about Earth is in designed for our survival. The only thing stopping us from becoming like God is the fact we can die. Um, if everything is rigged, I'll say life was supposed to start here. Like it was all by design. It was supposed to actually start here. You say the only thing that's preventing us, um, that's stopping us from becoming like gods is the fact that we can die. How sure are you that we can die? It's crazy as that may sound. How sure are you that death is real? How sure are you that death is not an illusion? What if you can't die? What if quantum immortality is true? What if you keep on reincarnating back here and you feel like you die? What if the whole thing is a dream and you can wake up from it? So you don't actually die. Like think about it. What are the hours that you just be existing at the time that you're actually existing now? Don't you feel like you've done this before? Don't you feel like you've played this game before? It's a very important question. Don't you feel like you've played this game before? It's more like a hamster wheel, and on the other side of the wheel is money and material thing. It's crazy that I don't know what a hamster wheel is. Can't really comment much on that. The sanity machine. Hey, can I hop on the life? No, brother, no. Like some people, I don't know. I never understood why they feel like they they're better than others. Like they're trying to outweigh everyone. Like I'm more conscious than you are. I'm white, so I'm better than you, and I must bring you down because of that. And they say that they represent the highest truth. Like, yeah, I'm more conscious than you. Like to the biggest sign that someone is conscious is them not trying to bring others down, especially if there's no reason to. You know what I'm saying? You just keep on working on like reaching the highest level of consciousness without bringing others down. So there are people who do that, and it doesn't make any sense. There are people who are like working day and night to uh bring those who are trying to figure out what reality is down. Like, no, don't follow this person because this person is a scam or this person is a lie. You be like, dude, just work on reaching high levels of consciousness. Everyone is trying. We don't know what is actually going on here. We are just trying to figure out what reality is. Like, no one is really claiming they know what is going on. But, we need to be working together as people. That is why there's a Discord server and I listen to everyone. Every time when I go live. It's just that today there are some things that I need to do after this live. But every time when I go live, I make sure that I go on Discord after the live and we have a conversation with people. I want to know how people think. That is important because these kind of conversations are are rare. You know what I'm saying? Like so being able to have these conversations is a good thing. I try to pray to God million times to get me out of here. I mean, that like out of all the things that God can do, you think He will get you out of here? He'll give you a million before He gets you out of here. Synchronicities help me prove it's scripted. Bro, I've experienced synchronicities that made me go like, have you ever had an experience that made you feel like 100% that this is scripted, like this is rigged? I've had many experiences that prove to me that nah, the whole thing is actually rigged. Synchronicities do help us realize that the whole thing is rigged. Like you can even judge things yourself and be like, was this supposed to be happening at this time? Why at this time? Why didn't it happen yesterday? Like it's happening right now at this hour, at this very like this is what's happening now. You think of a person that you have not spoken to in 20 years and they call you. You receive a call, you don't even have their numbers. Then you know what I'm saying? You don't even have their number and they actually call you and you're like, what the hell? I just thought of you. I've never even been thinking of you, like, because I haven't seen you in like 20 years. I didn't even think you were still alive. And you want to tell me this whole thing is not scripted? How can humans be from Earth if we have to modify things? Um, Look, if we live in a material universe, obviously we're not from Earth. But I think it's more complicated than that. It's like, when I was still in high school, I used to debate with teachers. They'll tell me about the theory of evolution and all that, and I'll be like, I don't think we evolved here. Like we don't like we are not like the animals that are like kind of like the animals that are here, but not really. Like there's something about us that is different. There's something about humans that is actually different. And of course, they'll have to um stick to the script, right? They'll have to teach us what they are told to teach us. You're not supposed to be asking questions. You're not supposed to be skeptical about what you're being taught. But yeah, it makes sense to think that we're not from here. Life is scary. It's scary to think that we evolved from Earth, yet we can't go to the ocean and drink water because it has too much salt. Do other are other animals not able to drink from the ocean, and we're the only ones who are like, are we the only ones who can't drink from the ocean? Bizarre TV. If you scripted aw- away every role, expectation, and label others have placed on you, friend, work, child, parent, partner, achiever, who would you be and what would you give your life a meaning? Mm, that's a profound question. So you forget what what people call you, what people think you are. Like you forget all the labels. Who would you be? What would you be? And I'd like someone to answer that in the comment. Um, I don't know. Like I'll be this person who plays by no rule, bro. Like I will not play by any rule. I'll just be. I will not even interpret anything. I'll just be having these experiences, but without playing by any rule. But that's really an interesting question. It's something that I think we need to think about as conscious beings. So, well, who would I really be without all these labels? If I wasn't born where I was born, or if I didn't have parents, I just existed. Like, who will I be? Like, if I had to, if I had to script my life, how would it be? Right? If I had to create my own story and I had the power to, how will my story be? We were ethereal spirits that became trapped or imprisoned here in 3D. Hmm, it makes sense to think that way, but I think it's more complicated than that. Someone says my reality will be a playboy mention or something like that. Just keeping it real. All right, guys. I'll be back in a second. Let's just keep on liking the live. Yeah, because I think we're on 39 likes. Let's keep on liking the live. I'll be back in a second. And we are back. Charles says, what are your thoughts about the crater Earth theory? What is the crater Earth theory? Oh, I need to Google that because I'm really interested in philosophy, but I've never heard of the crater Earth theory. The Hollow Earth theory, or is the hell or the Hollow Earth theory? Is that what you're referring to? Um, if we live in a material universe, I would say that the Earth is not what it seems. Obviously, because they're saying that the ocean is much bigger than the land, right? There would have to be life that we don't know about, obviously. But I don't want to. I don't wanna be a conspiracy theorist who focuses a lot on that. And the reason is that I don't know if it helps. You know what I'm saying? Like if I focus on aliens, for example, like aliens exist, there are aliens. I don't know if it helps. I remember there's a video that I've watched of this lady saying, okay, so someone was saying, yo, the earth is flat, and they try to explain why the earth was flat. And this lady was like, why should I give a damn about the shape of the earth? I still have to pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? I still have to do this, I still have to do that. So yes, maybe it's fun to try to think about that. I've watched, a lot of videos about that, like, like between 2020 and 2023. But I don't know if it really matters. But yeah, of course, if we live in a material universe, there would really have to be, like, the earth will actually be, like, not necessarily hollow, but I would say there will have to be life somewhere beneath the earth. Like that would actually make sense. That aliens are not even coming from other planets; they're actually coming from below. Like that really does make sense to believe. Someone says, I've just watched Inception, or it's unknown figure. I've just watched Inception. What a movie. I mean, that's the movie that you just gotta watch, man. It changes. There are movies that will change your life. There are movies that will change your life. Like they'll change how you see reality. If you're interested in philosophy, they will make you a better philosopher. Inception is one of them. Inception is one of them. George, is it George? Yes, yes, but it's actually not a crater. It's just but a tiny fraction of existence of where and what existence is. Here's my thing. I can imagine us just being robots of Darwinian principles and evolution, and why do we experience and feel anything at all? No, man, I actually hate that uh, we gave too much credit to Darwin. I hate that. Like, as this guy who figured something so fine, like it tells you that there are people who control this realm who are making some people more popular than others. Not because these people are right, but because they want people to believe what those people believe. You know, if the Matrix wants everyone to be ignorant and you're ignorant, and they figure that your ignorance makes you popular, they'll be like, why shouldn't we make this person more popular than they are? Because a lot of people like this person, you know what I'm saying? But if you are speaking the truth, this realm will try its best to suppress you. It's crazy. That's how it works. Divine reality says, how any of this is even possible? It's a good question, but it seems to me that whatever happens is just it's supposed to happen. I can't, like, sometimes I do try to think, if there's something that I try to think about and it just stops making sense, its existence itself. It feels like a paradox, right? It's something that can't truly be explained. You can't explain the origin of consciousness. But the more I think about it, the more it feels like consciousness is always existed. Like it's not something that started to exist at some point in time. Like I think it's something that has always been there, and everything that exists from consciousness itself, and consciousness is learn not necessarily learning, but it's inventing new things. So it's kind of like expanding, right, through experiences and all of that. I would say that's the most logical explanation, but it's crazy, man, that there is existence. It's just crazy. How do you deal with people around you who are narcissistic? Um, I cut people off in the weirdest way without explanation, anything like that, because I think life is hard enough as it is. So if I sense that a person is a narcissist, I stay away from them. I pull away. And here's the thing, man. If you sense that a person is a narcissist and you still keep them around, you probably regret it, you know. So yeah, what I've learned is to cut people off, man, and it helps a lot, you know, because in the end, what you need is peace. In the end, you need to learn to detach yourself from a lot of things, you know. You need to detach yourself from things that you feel, is difficult to detach yourself from. Do you think medication is a way to hide leeches in NPCs? What a question. I remember I asked my mom if when I was young, she took me to a clinic to get this injection, like to protect me from sicknesses. And she said yes. And I was like, you shouldn't have done that. I feel like um some of the pills that we get when we're sick, because I do believe that our bodies can heal themselves. Like I've never really been a person who who take pills if I'm sick and all of that. I feel like they do suppress us to some degree, right? I feel like we like naturally we are more conscious than than we even realize. But then because of all the pills, because of all the food, we we start operating at a very low level of consciousness. I don't know why my voice is changing now. I don't like it when it's like that. But yeah, I do feel that way. I do feel like there are things that we're being given that are making us operate at a very low level of consciousness, and we don't even realize that. We just think that, oh, this is, I'm being given this to treat me from this. I remember there was a time when I was taking medication. I was dealing with anxiety and all of that at the time, and I felt like I wasn't able to think as deeply as I normally would, right? I'll be like, no, something is missing, bro. Like I'm not able. You understand how hard it is to think this deeply. it's even like it's easier to understand how hard it is if you have something that is blocking you, right? So I could feel it that no, these pills are making it hard for me to think deeply. And sometimes anxiety comes from you thinking deeply about things, you questioning things, you examining things. And what you need to do if sometimes you deal with anxiety is um still do what you want to do, realizing that you're more conscious than other people, like you're more aware than other people. Like some people are just like they're just not aware. That's why they take more, like they take action, they think less and take action, but you are a thinker. So you need to find the balance between your overthinking and actions. Life is boring. Everything in life gets boring. Yeah, man. I remember Andrew Tate say the same thing. Yeah, I told you I've been seeing videos from Andrew Tate on Facebook. I don't even know. It's not like I've searched the guy. I don't even know why I'm seeing videos from him. But I remember I was sitting in one of his dopest cars. I don't even know what that car is called, but it's dope car. And it was like life is boring because we don't have wars and all of that. I don't think that wars will make life fun, but that's what he thinks. It's like there are no challenges. I don't even think the kind of challenges that people be thinking of will make life fun. But yeah, it is boring, bro, because people keep on experiencing the same things over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like that when you wake up, the sun is gonna go up. You know that you ain't gonna meet no aliens. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if one day we woke up and they say they are aliens and they came from another planet? There's a reason why we're interested in the Anunnaki story. People believing that the Anunnakis are coming back. Can you imagine if you saw planet Nibiru somewhere? You'd be like, you know what I'm saying? I remember I told you this. Yeah, there's a video that I watched on Facebook today. There was a video of a guy uh who parked his car on a bridge and he decided to jump. It's from you know somewhere in South Africa. I think like from KwaZulu Natal, like the province, if you've heard of that, like where Shaka Zulu is from, I think. Um, the guy parked his car and jumped, and that confused everyone. But think about this: if dude was about to jump and he checked his phone and they said there are aliens now. Everyone is talking about aliens. Do you think he will still have jumped? Obviously, dude would have been like, "Damn, I gotta figure out what what is actually going on." They're saying that they're aliens. and all that. So yeah, sometimes it gets boring, because people keep on experiencing the same things every day. Nothing new. You know what I'm saying? We have seen the things that we are saying this year. We are already used to the weirdness. You know what I'm saying? Like things get weird, but we're used to that. So people wanna see new things happening. You know, give us things that we don't even think about. The reason why when we were children, the reason why we were happy when we were children is because there was a lot that we didn't know. When you were 6, you still knew that you're gonna become a teenager. You're still gonna hit puberty. So like the thing you didn't know what it's like to be a puberty, right? To hit puberty, to be a teenager, to be an adult. So there was something that you kind of like looked forward to, but you hit the age of 30 and you're like, what's next? Damn, I don't want to know what it's like being an old man who can't do this, who can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, like it's not something that people really look forward to. They get bored by that when they even think about it. So really, if new things kept on happening, then it will be fun. And maybe the reason why we keep on forgetting, like if reincarnation is the thing, we keep on forgetting because we get bored. I don't know. It's just something that I just thought about now. That maybe they erase our memories because if you keep on reincarnating in the same place over and over again, and there's nothing new, it's just the same thing, you just get bored, bro. You just get too damn bored that you wouldn't even want to experience it. But yeah, this just sucks, man. That's the truth. Yan says life is a gift. Now go pay them bills. It's crazy, man. Most have to limit the content of their consciousness because the terror of our situation, semi-conscious nothing. Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, say, once someone is 18 to 25, they experience a lot what life is to offer. Yeah, man. I do feel like when you hit the age of 30, I wouldn't say 25, I'll say when you hit the age of 30, you kind of like experience a lot, especially if you were paying attention to everything, right? Because some people will hit the age of 30, but they have not really thought about life, you know? But if you have been thinking about life, if you've been asking your life what the heck is going on and all of that, I do believe by the age of 30, you will like really understand what you can understand. You know, it's like when you hit the age of 30, you're on your prime. Maybe 30 to 35, you're on your prime. And after that, CB says just finished Atlanta, great show. That's the best TV show ever, man. I've watched I've watched everything, bro. You can tell me about Breaking Bad, you can tell me about The Sopranos, you can listen. There are shows that after watching them, your life kind of changed. You know what I'm saying? Shows that are so well done that after watching them, you're like you look at things differently. I can't even tell you what's so special about Atlanta, but nah, man, that TV show, eh, it's something. It's like having a psychedelic experience. Like it's so like well done, bro. Like Donald Love knew what he was doing. That show is so good. I remember watching the first episode and I was like, I like it, but I don't know what they're trying to do with this. Watch the second episode and I'm like, what are they trying to do with this? Because I like it, but I don't get it. Watch the third episode. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept on watching and damn. And it became my second favorite TV show before the last episode, right? My favorite TV show has always been South Park. But after watching the last episode of Atlanta, I was like, this is my favorite TV show. It only has four seasons. But the last episode did it for me. I was like, no, man, this show is like I can't believe that my favorite TV show ended the way that it ended. I mean, it wasn't really my favorite, my second, but it was my second favorite. But because of the ending, I was like, it's too damn good. I watched that episode like every week. It was all a dream. They blew my mind with that episode, man. Once you've experienced the majority of what life has to offer, you begin to lose that spark. And the worst thing is, life can offer you negative experiences in order for you to care. Yeah, man, when we were children, we had this spark. We had this, I don't even know how to explain it, but there was this feeling that there was something that I used to feel, bro. Like, and I used to feel it here, that excitement. You know, when you see your mother coming from work and you just so happy to see her. You know, you see your father coming from work and you're just happy to see the dude. But it's not there anymore. There's just emptiness, right? Like there's not that excitement is gone. There's a reason why children act like they're crazy. You know, ever seen a child playing in the street, bro? They're just happy. They're playing by themselves. Like the simplest things make them happy is because of that spark. Is it if really life wasn't that bad, you wouldn't lose that spark. Everything will make you happy. That's the thing. Like the simplest thing, like even you playing with this coin like this, that will make you happy. But you've seen so much hell that nothing makes you happy anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like things have been so damn bad that you're like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you are refusing to be happy. Like it even gets to a point where your own brain doesn't even produce what it needs to produce for you to feel happy because of how traumatized you are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it does suck, man. Once you reach 30, you become a different person because you become shaped by all this experience you've had. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's when you actually mature, in my opinion. That's when you start, understanding what this place, how this place really works. CB Atlanta was like getting weirder the further you got into it, but it was interesting. Now Atlanta is that, man, that show. I can't explain how much I love that show, man. Some things you just can't put into words. Chirero, life is scary, bro. Trust me. Living with people who don't get you or try or act like they know what's best for you is insane torture. Yeah, man. A lot of people are conscious and they are misunderstood. That's one of the worst things of like about being conscious is that people just won't understand you. Some will think you're crazy, or some will, just hate you, because they don't get you. Some will fear you. Like Nas said, people fear what they can't understand. But what humans want is connection. You want to connect with people, and people not understanding you prevents that connection. Nothing is random. Yeah, I think that should be obvious by now. Drew says, Benedict, you like to gamble? Not really. Not really. James says, people in this world respect those with power or can affect their lives and don't F around with them, but only with those lacking the resources of power. Power is power. I like that scene from Game of Thrones when just I forgot the name of the lady when she proved power is power. Zenon says, I think it's because as you age, People get sick and pass on, so the people that made you happy are gone. Yeah, that's also true, but I think there are a lot of things that are making people who are like getting older like sad. But yeah, it sucks, man. I lost my dad last year. It's someone who's been in my life the whole time. So losing a person that has been like someone that seemed like they'll never die. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've had someone in your life since you were born, thinking of the fact that one day they will be gone, like even though you know people die, it feels impossible. You're like, this person is gonna be dead the whole time, but then they die. And now you have to delete their numbers, you know what I'm saying? But I still have not deleted my dad's numbers. Like they're still there, like a part of me is like that's the way that I'm connecting with him. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. I remember when I was at home because I've stayed because my dad died in September, right? So from October until like July, was it July this year? I had not been at home. So when I went home, I'll pass by where he worked, and it felt like he was there. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt, because I used to go there a lot. So and people knew me there. So you just go in and they're like, oh, that's the son of this person. So you just go. So it just felt like it's there, right? It's the weirdest thing, man. That's the thing. So it does get painful, it does get painful, bro, as you get older. So I do understand what you're saying when you say we lose the people that we've known our whole lives, the people that we've loved. But we also meet new people. There's another thing to realize. I just think we just experience a lot of traumas that we lose interest by default. Like if you experience a lot of negative things, like let's say, like let's think of relationship for an example. Like if you experience a lot of negative things in a relationship, you do lose interest by default. So it's the same thing with life. Like you experience a lot of negative things, it does get to a point where you kind of like lose that interest, right? So you find that what keeps you going is it's not even hope. It's just that you're just strong, so it just keeps you going. You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep on going, because why not? That's what you tell us of. It's all around people who think at this level. You can't hide it around people. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think people can sense if you're different, bro. Someone says, if we all know that this room is hell, we have to prepare what will be next. Event prepare for. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You mustn't be affected by the smallest things in this room. Like if you can teach yourself to not be affected by small things, maybe in the whatever is next is not going to affect you that deeply. Shidera says, and the worst part about this world is that you depend on those low vibrational people in order to survive, and these same people can shape your future. Yeah, man. In hell, you're supposed to be rely on the devil. Basically, he runs shit in hell. So yeah, it will be like that. Abraham cases, hello Benedict. No, welcome to the life. Welcome to the life. Brahim cases are the Muslims in South Africa. Yeah, the Muslims. There's a Muslim church not far from where I live. Maybe 1.5 kilo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not far. There's this big Muslim church very close to where I live. But there are not many Muslims. Like most of the people who are religious, they believe in Christianity. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I need to sleep now. It's actually like very early in the morning. It's like 6, but I need to sleep for at least an hour. Yeah, so that I can wake up. And yeah, there's a lot that I need to do today. Yeah, like the video. That helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed. And thank you guys for your support. Share the live, and let's keep this going. Thank you.